Our third speaker is Dr. Sam Adu-Kumi, Director of the Chemicals Control and Management Center of the EPA in Ghana. Dr. Adu-Kumi, it is a pleasure to have you here online. The next 8 minutes, the microphone is yours.
Good morning from Accra, Ghana, and thank you so much for the kind invitation to make my presentation or share some of the perspective regarding biomonitoring studies in Africa or from a developing country. I hope you can you hear me, please? Hello?
Yeah, we
can you hear me?
Sam.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. So generally, the human biomonitoring refers to the measurement of concentrations of biomarkers, chemicals, metabolites, and all products from the blood, urine, saliva, breast milk, toe, knees, and hair. Next slide, please, if you can see me. Yes, so it focuses on, the next one, please. It focuses on the measuring of uptake of chemicals by human body and provides direct measure of internal dose of chemicals. And it's a good reflection of the internal exposures and disposition, absorption, distribution, metabolism, and elimination from all exposures, inhalation, ingestion, dermal exposure, and pre-exposure exposure in humans. The application, we all know it. It considers all routes of uptake and all relevant sources, make it an ideal instrument for risk assessment and risk management of human exposure to environmental pollutants. It allows us to identify and eliminate the possible sources of exposure. And it's important for safeguarding the health of our population from research studies. Next slide, please. Just to share some applications in the area of policy. I'm speaking from an African or a developed country perspective because we don't have enough laboratory or analytical procedures for determining some of these things, but at least using the human biomonitoring studies or the monitoring, it enables us to aim or develop policies which aims at reducing chemical exposures and to know the impact over time. And also enables us to really find out whether the health of people in specific populations or regions, especially the vulnerable populations, are at risk. It also helps us to really do a body burden of chemical analysis to actually know whether the internal dose varies with the time, country, sex, age, or socioeconomic studies. Next slide, please. I want to zero into what has been done in Africa, sort of, because generally we lack the tools and equipment for the studies in our environment. But in Africa, even though the data is lacking, the human biomonitoring studies have been one of a single useful tool for monitoring environmental chemicals in humans and environment. The main biomarkers that we use have been hops and their metabolites, pesticides, and mercury. And the biological specimen have been breast milk and serum. Next slide, please. Because of time, I need to really run fast. So what we do is that under the Stockholm Convention on POPs, there's what we call the Global Monitoring Program, and that has been a very major successful program for us in Africa in the area of monitoring of POPs or chemicals. And it's one of the tools for effective evaluation of the convention on POPs. And the breast milk studies has actually reviewed the levels of contaminants of pesticides and natural chemicals in humans and the environment. Next slide, please. Under the Stockholm Convention GMP, as we call it, the human biomonitoring studies has informed our policy initiatives and development of our national implementation plans for effective implementation of the Stockholm Convention and other chemical MEs in Africa. The breast milk studies in particular provided some capacity building for national laboratories and also raised awareness of decision makers in considering the level of contaminants in humans and the environment. The breast milk actually show us the need for continuous POPs monitoring and also proposing mitigation measures to reduce the levels of potential exposure of the populations. I would like to share something brief about what we did in Ghana here. In Ghana, a chemical like DDT has been banned for several decades, since 1985. And because of our cocoa industry, you know, if we find residues of DDT in our products, especially cocoa, nobody will actually patronize or buy it. So we are very careful. It used to be also for human, also for public health purposes, but because of our cocoa, it was banned. But we have had some issues about DDT still being in use, and we wonder where it was coming from. So through the breast milk studies that we did some population studies, the southern sector, the middle sector, and the northern sector. So when we did the studies, we're expecting that people in the forest areas where cocoa is being used, perhaps maybe give an indication of the use of DDT. Unfortunately, we found out that close to our neighbors, Togo, that's where the population studies revealed DDT in the breast milk. So what we decided was that we will really find out what was happening there. And we saw that, interestingly, Togo still more or less import some amount of DDT into their country. And therefore, because of smuggling and other things, DDT found its way into the neighboring borders of Togo. And therefore, no wonder that the breast milk revealed high levels of DDT in the breast milk samples we took from women along the border. And that actually has given us the needed, policy and framework for us to tackle some of these things so that we don't also, go against the obligation and the convention, and also to protect our health and the people, and also our major export, which is cocoa. So in the effect, I'm saying that the studies have really helped us, even though we can not use it as the main tool, but at least has been a very useful tool for us in Africa and in Ghana in particular. So I would like to pause here for further questions, and then maybe I can answer some of the questions that will come out from the floor. Thank you so much for your kind attention.